Joining us now is OG Nika, Jinx, Okpe, with stories trending around the world. Hello, Jinx.
Good morning. I love that clap. I was just hoping that you would get that acting role. What's happening? We're waiting for that.
I need one, right?
Yes.
I've mastered the role of Dr. Abati. I have embodied the character, darling.
We have.
Yes.
We're missing Dr. Abati today. Wherever you are. Hi, Dr. Abati. Good morning.
She needs one in the new Spider-Man coming up after this, yeah.
Right? Right?
I love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Good morning to you, viewers. Here are some of the stories that are trending across the globe.
In the United Kingdom, Jasbir Singh Chahal, father of the 19-year-old, suspected of scaling Windsor Castle, armed with a crossbow in a bid to assassinate the Queen in revenge for the 1919 Amritsar massacre, told reporters on Monday that something's gone horribly wrong with his son and he is trying to figure it out. The teenager, Jaswant Singh Chahal, was sectioned under the Mental Health Act after doctors pronounced him unfit to be dealt with over the break-in at Windsor Castle. In South Africa, tributes continue to pour in from around the world for anti-apartheid icon Archbishop Desmond Tutu, who died on Sunday at the age of 90. World leaders, including Queen Elizabeth II, Joe Biden, Boris Johnson, Uhuru Kenyatta, Pope Francis, Barack Obama, and South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa, who described him as one of the nation's finest patriots, are amongst the many leaders who have sent condolence messages.
He was brave, he was forthright, and we loved him just for that, because he was a voice of the voiceless. He was the one person who campaigned for justice.
In Nigeria, a video of the release of Uche Nwosu, former governorship candidate and the son-in-law of Rochas Okorocha, former governor of Imo State, from police custody on Monday, made the rounds on social media. Under sports, Formula One team bosses on Monday collaborated to choose Max Verstappen over Lewis Hamilton as their driver of 2021. Hamilton, who had won consecutive Grand Prix in Brazil, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia, was pipped to the world title on the final lap of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, losing out to Max Verstappen in a dramatic and controversial fashion. Finally, under entertainment, Ghanaian dancehall musician Charles Nee Armah Mensah Jr., known by his stage name Shatta Wale, generated mixed reactions on social media with his derogatory remarks about Nigerian artists. The musician, who was featured in the song Already by multiple award-winning artist Beyonce, sold out his concert in Accra, Ghana, and took a dig at Nigerian artists, stating that they will never achieve such a feat, while using an expletive to dismiss the impact of Nigerian artists. Nigerians have taken to social media to express their disappointment.
I am also very disappointed at this artist who fight. I mean, he did look like he was intoxicated. I mean, I can't even give an excuse.
Oh, yeah.
Why would he do that?
I mean, it's been a bad year for Shatta Wale. It just got worse. He became an ex-convict this year. He went to jail,
Yes,
went
I
to
remember
prison.
that.
And when he says all things like this, you know, Shatta Wale, if you're watching, we want African solidarity. Ghanaians are brothers. We want the collaboration. But if you can say such a thing like that, you see, people like the likes of Burna Boy will be twice as tall, and people like you, Shatta Wale, will be shorter than Shatta Bandle.
That's nice. Well, all right.
Well, I'd chime in if I actually knew who he was.
Tundu.
Yeah, that's good for good measure.
All right. Well, now we know. Well, all right. We'll begin what's trending with reactions trailing accusations made by the Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, who on Monday claimed that the past administration looted funds meant for the fight against terrorism. Well, the minister, while speaking on a radio program, said the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari has cleared the mess of the past administration using the money recovered from looted assets to fight terrorism. Well, Malami also claimed that when Buhari took over power, 17 local governments in the northeast were under the control of Boko Haram terrorists, and that now Buhari's administration has been able to recover the 17 local governments, restore peace, and build houses for internally displaced persons. Well, let's take a Twitter reaction from Nwanwhikw, who wrote, 7 years later, they're still talking about the previous administration. Meanwhile, the security situation under this current administration is much worse than we have seen in our country at any time since after the Civil War. Well, on the other hand, presidential spokesman Femi Adesina is admitting that there is insecurity in the nation and is optimistic that high-profile insurgents will soon be taken out. While speaking on live television, Adesina claimed that with the current efforts on improving security, insurgency could be brought to an end within the 17 months that President Muhammadu Buhari has left in office. He likened Nigeria's current state of insecurity to Sri Lanka under the threat of Tamil Tigers rebellion, which lasted for 28 years and ended the day the mastermind of the rebellion was killed. Tundu, while I take my breath, I'm coming over to you and both stories.
Well, the false equivalence with the Tamil Tigers talking about when the mastermind died, it really, it's a false equivalent. It doesn't hold water in our context because we're dealing with a hydra-headed security crisis. There is not one mastermind. We have Boko Haram, we have ISWAP, we have bandits, we have criminal herdsmen, we've got kidnappers, just the whole array of violent crimes has befallen this country. So I don't understand that point that he's trying to make, that I reject it. And talking about how soon, that's not a strategy. We've got a few months left, like 17 months left to the end of this administration's life, and we're talking about soon. It's really sad for me. By now, President Muhammadu Buhari should have been on a victory lap, talking about how this former military dictator became a civilian president and used his status as a general, retired general, to rid Nigeria of the evil that has befallen us in the form of those, nasties I just mentioned previously. But here we are, still hoping on a wing and a prayer, talking about soon. And the story you raise as well about the Attorney General and that hackneyed phrase, that threadbare previous administrations. I mean, really. I mean, he has a point. I remember the Alex Bade incident. That was a $1.4 billion scandal. And obviously, who can forget Dasuki Gate? $2 billion. And God knows what else we have not uncovered. There are some estimates that fraudulent arms procurement deals have cost us $15 billion in Nigeria. But that is the previous administration, yes. But we will find out what has been hidden under this administration. Because you recall, Dasuki Gate was not uncovered until 2015, right? So we'll wait till 2023 and we'll hear. Because we do know, and I hate to quote The Economist, but it's not a false sense of nationalism that's going to prevent me from addressing the truth. They did have this article talking about corrupt generals, talking about how Nigeria's military is only mighty on paper, the most damning of indictments. So we will find out what is happening in this administration. But before then, we can see and feel the fact that Nigerians are dying in their droves. Today, it's Zamfara and scores of women being kidnapped in Zamfara. So I don't think we should continue to harken back to the past. What is happening in the present and what is the future of this country? That is really what's most relevant.
Yeah, what took so long? I mean, 7 years in power. Now that they are saying that they have all these new gadgets to fight insecurity, Femi Adesina is saying that Buhari can end insurgency?
So, I mean, Tundu, you said it rightly when you were talking about prayers. I just remember John Bon Jovi. We're like living on a prayer. And that's what we are in this country. Let's not deceive ourselves. What are the facts on ground, Oji? The facts on ground are things have not changed. Things have got worse. So let's stop this comparison between this administration and the last administration. If the last administration was the standard, we will have retained them in power. We voted in a new administration because we thought they were going to change things. The governor of Niger State said large swaths of land, Niger has well over 50,000 square kilometers of land, has been taken over by insurgents. The governor of a state said that. I am not sure the governor of a state said the last swaths of land had been taken in the last administration. Now we have ISWAP. I'm not sure we're talking about ISWAP. I'm not sure we're talking about bandits. I'm not sure we're talking about proliferation of insecurity across every part of the country. The last administration, I'm not sure what is happening in the East now was happening. And we're having killings in the East. The East was safe. It snowballed into the South until they were stopped when Amotekun was set up. We all remember the back and forth that heralded the setting up of Amotekun. Now it's finally here to stay. It still continues. So there is massive insecurity. We have farmers being killed in Zabamari. Every day, a lot of people are being killed. We keep saying it's soft targets. We keep saying they are repentant. Yes, they are repentant, but the numbers are still up there. People are still being killed. We have an insecurity situation in our hands that is threatening the existence of our country. So this is not the time to point accusing fingers, all right? If we thought the last administration was so good, you wouldn't get the chance. The reason why you were brought in here was because we thought you'd do better than the last administration. So please, let's stop this rhetoric about this last administration thing. I don't want to hear it. It's stinking talk. It stinks.
I don't even know
the reason you were voted in to this administration was because a lot of people felt you can do better. You better get to work. Secondly, we talk about this soon ending insecurity. Please, don't pee on my back and tell me it's raining. You got 7 years, you couldn't do it? What are you going to do in 17 months that you couldn't have done in 7 years? You're talking about weapons. You've got the Super Tucanos now. You said they were the deal changers. Now we're talking about drones from Turkey. See, let's not deceive ourselves. Culture will always eat strategy for breakfast. There's a culture of insecurity that started over the years because of neglect and poverty in that area. That's why it's easy to give a 10-year-old a gun and he becomes a bandit. We need to solve the problems of insecurity and poverty in the country. How do we do it? It has to be a multi-pronged approach. Yeah. You can't shoot your way out of it. I met an amazing girl out of Borno. She said, Rufai, guns will kill terrorists, but education will kill terrorism. This is time to invest in the livelihood of those people and also ensure that as you fight out the people, you root them out. Yeah. And be sincere. You know, block every cash that is coming into those bandits. Don't give them the chance. That I don't think you can do in 17 months. Let's not lie to ourselves. We want it to work. We want a miracle to happen. I want all of this. You see, I want to wake up tomorrow and see banditry end in Nigeria. But is it realistic in 17 months? You must be peeing on my back and be telling me it's raining at the same time. But I wish Nigeria well. I want us to do well. I hope 2022 will be a great year for us and we'll end all of this once and for all.
Absolutely. I like that point. And I also like your point saying that it's not just one person. How can you liken it to that thing that happened in Sri Lanka? It's not just one insecurity issue that we are fighting. We are fighting several factors, several groups. And
fighting
it's not
on several fronts.
Yes, absolutely. Well, all right, we'll take another story highlighting the ordeal of orphans displaced in the Boko Haram conflict, who are now receiving free primary and post-primary education in a private school in Maiduguri, the capital of Borno State in the northeast. Well, the school was established in 2007 by the Future Prowess Islamic Foundation, which is run by Mustafa Zana, who, for more than a decade, have been providing hope and peace for children caught in the epicenter of the Boko Haram insurgency. Well, our Rise correspondent, Awal Ibrahim, spoke to two of the orphans.
I could remember it was one early morning of Monday. We finished praying our early morning prayers. Then we had gunshot. Then my father called all of us to his room. We were thinking it was soldiers. Then, but few minutes later, 3 people came into our house and with guns. They pushed us outside and they told my parents to stay and tell us to go inside. Just as we were about going inside, we had gunshot. Then we turn up to see what happened. They have killed both of them.
I become an orphan. My father was killed by Boko Haram. My mother was only one. We don't have anybody to help us. The family of my parents are not helping us. That is my experience. I am very happy because I am in a free school.
Well, this narration broke my heart. I mean, you could hear it from that boy. I mean, I couldn't believe that he witnessed his parents' death in that manner. But I mean, this is what we're talking about. This current administration, it is untrue that we have the insurgency in this country is raging. You talked about the 20 women that were kidnapped in Zamfara only yesterday. And now we're seeing this type of videos coming out. But I want to talk about Mustafa Zana, who actually was selected as one of the 10 heroes that have been, CNN heroes, and he's been commended. This school has over 300 orphans from the same conflict that we've been talking about. And I just really want to congratulate him for all the work that he's been doing. And, he is definitely one of our heroes. He is. I mean, we've been talking about fictional heroes like Spider-Man, but we have real heroes. And this is the problem with Nigeria. In a country where we've been overrun, we're constantly under attack by all kinds of evil people. That is who gets the attention. But it must also be stressed that this is the same Nigeria that produced a man like Mr. Zana and the help that he's doing. He's changing the lives of these orphans. And why were those children orphaned? Look at that account. It's devastating. Murdered for no reason. They had to see their parents murdered. Yes. And if it wasn't for Mr. Zana, they would be languishing in an IDP camp. And we hear the stories that come from IDP camps. Pretty horrific stories of abuse of Nigerian children who have gone there for refuge. I'm sorry, this is devastating. There's no reason why these children should have been offered in the first case. But we have to take some inspiration and draw some hope in the fact that there is still men like Mr. Zana, the best among us, who actually stand up to be counted and to help other people who are just in such desperate need. But this should not have happened. Boko Haram, we remember how this happened. An extrajudicial killing caused all of this devastation. Tens and thousands of people dead, displaced, lives destroyed because the Nigerian state failed to handle a menace properly. And then when it started to spiral, failed to contain it, such that it's become a situation where it's not about the death of one person is going to quell a rebellion. Far from it. This is just a tragedy. Yeah, the Minister of Justice also mentioned that, the looted funds were used to build IDP camps. I've done my research, and I'm just wondering how many they are.
So people like Mr. Zana, Mustafa Zana, are the people that I thank God for every day, because they just let you know that everything is not in vain in this country. Nigerians are good-hearted. And just like the people, too, that save their items from the next cash store that was born in, cash and carry store. Those are the true heroes in this country. I hope people like Mr. Zana make it to the national honors list in Nigeria. Because I want to see more of people like Mr. Zana on our honors list, not some kind of people that we always see. And you see, the sad reality, Audrey, is the fact that we're talking about children being displaced, children being hurt as a result of insurgency. But there's a new wave of insurgency happening. Another 10, 15 years. You know what they are? Displaced Almajiri children in the north. We need to cater to them. We need to put them back in schools. If we don't, they become fertile grounds for those that carry guns. And that's why I say it's not just one-pronged approach. You can't just say you can kill all the terrorists and problems will change. Why do people believe in the terrorists in the first place in the north? And they pay them taxes over the government? It's because there's a culture. They've seen neglect. So they're seeing an alternative way. But how do you change that culture? The government must be present. You must show the people you care about them. Yeah. Invest in them. Then fight the remnants of the terrorists, and that'll end. But in a country that we keep having Almajiri children out of school, living in abject poverty, in 10 years' time, I just pray they're not the ones carrying guns and fighting back at the states. But good story. Kudos to Mr. Zana. Yes. And please, apart from saying kudos, well-meaning Nigerians must support Mr. Zama.
Support this
We
man.
must invest in schools like that in the north.
Yes.
We must put money in it.
Yeah.
These are the people that are worthy of our emulation.
Absolutely. I like that. Over 300 children are in this school. Well, all right. We shall take our final story in Ghana, where the police service on Monday issued a warning to its citizens, especially religious leaders, against false prophecies ahead of New Year's Eve church service. In a statement, the police cautioned that under Ghanaian law, it is a crime for a person to publish or reproduce a statement, rumor, or report which is likely to cause fear and alarm to the public or to disturb the public peace, where that person has no evidence to prove that the statement or report is true. The police went further to state that any person found guilty under the Act could be liable to a term of imprisonment of up to 5 years. Rufai, remember we took a story about one of this woman, it was a Mommy Gio, I guess, you know. And, you know, this was the question I asked. Isn't there a law in Nigeria to lock this type of people up when you are giving these types of false information to your congregation? Kudos to the Ghanaian police.
Because, kudos to the Ghanaian police and the fact that a lot of these people are psychotic. A lot of, you see, and that's why they prey on fears. Have you ever seen any prophecy for the year that says, in the new year, great things will happen to Nigeria, will happen to Ghana. Ghana will accelerate. It will do better in trade than China. They don't prophesy good things. It's always things that keep people alarmed and afraid. And it just feeds the level of psychosis going on in the minds of a lot of these people. So I think the first thing is, let's not pay those false prophets attention. 2, let us remove the oxygen. You know the oxygen? Media. It is when we give media to people like this and publish, and that's why I like that police article that said, don't publish in your newspaper or anything.
Yes.
Once you don't publish them, it just becomes rants. Because we can't keep a society where there are a lot of psychotic people saying things leading from the heart of psychosis and affecting and truncating society. The greatest prophecy, if I can give you in 2022, is that God loves you and you will do well and you will prosper and succeed.
Amen.
That's the only thing that matters.
Pastor Rufai.
Yeah, that's the only thing that matters. You will prosper and succeed in 2022.
Do you remember the beginning of COVID? What year was that? The year of, I think it's 2020. The prophecy. Remember, we took that video of all of the prophets that did not see COVID-19. Oh.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
I actually think this is great, what the Ghanaian authorities have done. And I don't really like to be personal on this show, but I'll share a little something.
Go ahead.
I was only a little girl in the car, and there was a newspaper vendor, and I saw a newspaper headline, like a MKO Abiola will die.
Oh my God!
Can you imagine?
I was so upset. I actually remember. It's an old memory, but I was like, you know, when you're a child, you don't know to dismiss that.
Yeah.
And this is your point that you made, which I really like. The fact that the press, well, I think it was a tabloid. I don't see a serious newspaper putting that on its cover. Must have been a tabloid.
Yeah.
But you give them oxygen.
Yes.
But what you said also, I like the other point that you made about fear. It's the same as the accusation that's made leveled against some big pharma and how the pharmaceutical companies deliberately keep people ill.
Yes.
So that you can continue to buy their medication. So the industry is a fear industry, so that you can continue to come to their, you know, churches and what have you. So they actually have to put the fear of God into you, that, you know, as it were, and terrify you into coming and then parting with your money. It's a cynical way of exploiting people, and it's really unfair. And, you know, the psychologists call it the lemming effect. When one person is that anxious and fearful, you spread it to other people. And then that's how we all are in the grip of some kind of collective fear. It's awful.
I mean, we need this law. Kudos to the Ghanaian police and the Nigerian police. We need this for 2022.
We don't want to see these prophecies of doom.
Right. That's all I have for you on What's Trending today. I'll see you tomorrow.